So in Russell Wilson's debut with the Steelers, he goes out there and he had a very good, strong outing. He was 16 of 29, 264 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns to 0 interceptions. All the Russell Wilson doubters for this game, they have to shut up, because he went against an elite passing defense in the New York Jets, and he passed the football to George Pickens at a high level and to Big Pat as well. Now, this offense, they still have problems in terms of finding other receivers besides having guys like George Pickens and Pat at the tight end position, but Van Jefferson did get a receiving touchdown, and Calvin Austin III did have a huge drop in the first quarter, but after that, everything started to gel together. This was an elite performance by everyone on the offensive end, because let's really talk about it. This offensive line is banged up. No Zach Frazier in this game, who has been the starting center since week 1, has been one of the best centers in the NFL as a rookie. He missed this game dealing with an ankle injury that he suffered last week against the Raiders. You look at Broderick Jones at the right tackle position, performed very well in this game. At the right guard position, no James Daniels. He's going to be out for the rest of the season. He tore his Achilles against the Indianapolis Colts. So the interior of this offensive line was beat up and banged up. Russell Wilson found ways to get inside and outside the pocket and to deliver the football where it needed to be. And all I heard from the national media, keep Justin Fields in the game. Justin Fields is this, Justin Fields is that. Justin Fields did play well, but when you really look at it from a passing standpoint, Russell Wilson is the better passer. This was an elite defense that he went against in terms of passing. Now, rushing, the Jets can't stop the run. They went out there and you knew what the Steelers were going to do. They're going to run the football with Najee Harris. Najee Harris has looked very good the last 2 weeks. I was very critical of him a couple of weeks ago, but in the last 2 weeks against the Raiders and in this game against the New York Jets, 102 rushing yards. He averaged 5 yards a carry, 1 rushing touchdown. Jaylen Warren averaged 4 yards a carry, 44 rushing yards on the day. George Pickens, 111 receiving yards on the day, 1 receiving touchdown. All of his catches were special. And Russell Wilson were throwing guys open. If he can do this on a consistent level, this is going to be a hard football team to beat, because you have TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, and Cameron Hayward, who have all played very well this season. Alex Highsmith, this was his first game back in the last couple weeks. He was dealing with a groin injury, but he's played very well. TJ Watt was quiet in this game, but we saw what he did last week against the Raiders. You now have an offense that can move down the field with Justin Fields and with Russell Wilson. Justin Fields gives you the ability to run around and make those plays, while Russell Wilson can stand in the pocket and he can deliver the football and he can dissect you, especially in the red zone. This was a strong outing. And for all the naysayers that may say, hey, you went against a team that basically didn't have stars, they're wrong. Because you went against a Jets team that has everything to prove. They went out there, they made a trade to get Davante Adams. They clamped Davante Adams in this game. He had 9 targets, 3 catches, 30 yards. Yes, Garrett Wilson dropped the football in this game. It went for an interception by Benny Bishop, who was amazing in this game. Bishop was phenomenal. Had the 2 interceptions. 1 interception was one-handed in the middle of the field. That turned the tides of the game right there, because the offense did start off slow with Russell Wilson. He had a lot of missed passes behind the line of scrimmage. He was missing guys. But as the game progressed, he got more comfortable inside the pocket and the offense looked better. But give Bishop a lot of credit on that end. Joey Porter Jr. did a phenomenal job on Davante Adams. They were giving up a lot of yardage at first in terms of yards after the catch. They were having problems tackling. Part of that is because Patrick Queen has been garbage this season. And I'm still going to stick on that point. He's been the worst linebacker in that room, and they gave him a lot of money. But I will say this, Peyton Wilson, the rookie, has played very well. Landon Roberts has been amazing at the middle linebacker position. A couple weeks ago, this team could not score that much against the Dallas Cowboys. This was like a completely different offense underneath Russell Wilson. And the play calls are pretty much the same. It's the same play action bootlegs to Darnell Washington, the same play action bootlegs to Pat as well. But Russell Wilson knows how to work in this offense better than Justin Fields. And I am still not the biggest fan of Arthur Smith, but in today's game, he called up a good game, just like how he did last week against the Las Vegas Raiders. Considering the injuries up front, you would think that Quinn Williams and those guys would dominate. but they didn't. And Russell Wilson had points of times where he had to slide outside the pocket and make special throws outside the pocket, and he did that. Shout out to George Pickens for stepping up in today's game as well. This was a very strong outing for the Steelers on all fronts. And you had the referees as well. Early in the game, it was a block kick, a block field goal attempt. Mika Fitzpatrick leaps over. It's a block extra point, excuse me. Mika Fitzpatrick leaps over. They call it back. Mika Fitzpatrick shouldn't have been flagged for that play. They went out there. They go for 2. They go up 15. And you would also call me crazy because the New York Jets did not score a single point in the second half. The fact that they almost put up 40 points is crazy to think about. Because this Steelers team, since Big Ben has retired, have struggled to go out there and even put up over 20 points. This was a strong outing. I'm not going to be prisoner of the moment. They're going to have to do this on a consistent week-to-week basis for sure. But this was a very good game for the Steelers to win. They took care of business. Give Cameron Hayward a lot of credit. The same with TJ Watt, the entire defense as a whole. And it makes me very suspicious. Will Dante Jackson still be a starting corner with the team or not? That's one of those things that I look at because he was pulled out of this game because he was dealing with an injury. So we'll see about that. But shout out to Russell Wilson, and it's good to see him get his vengeance. And it's also good for this as well, because I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a big fan of Russell Wilson. I was taking up for him with the Denver Broncos. He had the one bad year. Worst offensive line in the NFL. Terrible coaching with Nathaniel Hackett, who is still in the coaching staff with the New York Jets. He goes out there, has a strong outing. The fans are booing him after the first quarter. And the next thing you know, he goes out there, he settles down, he's delivering the football where it needs to be, and he looked better. And I'm not trying to trash on Justin Fields because Justin Fields one day could be the starter with the Steelers long term. But right now, Russell Wilson is that guy. I do want to see the wide receivers step up besides George Pickens, but those are just minor critiques. They're getting the run game going. They're getting healthier as well. Nick Herbig should be back in the next couple of weeks. He's the backup pass rusher behind Alex Highsmith and behind TJ Watt as well. You also are getting Cameron Sutton in a couple of weeks because he's serving a suspension. Now, he's not a superstar by any means, but that's very good depth to have in that secondary. They have a bye week after next week when they face the New York Giants, which is a very winnable game. And after that, that's when the gauntlet ensues. You have the Baltimore Ravens, you then have the Cleveland Browns, and the Cincinnati Bengals. So to all the naysayers that were out there hating on Russell Wilson and the Steelers, there you go. 37 points against a tough defense of the New York Jets passing wise. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you guys feel about the Steelers moving forward with Russell Wilson, and who should be the starting quarterback for the rest of the season? Russell Wilson or Justin Fields? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. God bless. Peace.